What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Cardcast. Today is all about Disney and how they're leaving their footprint in the TCG community here in 2023. I'm your host, Brandon, aka Pocket Bounty, alongside Matt, Trading Card Bro, and welcome to our podcast. Dude, today it's going to be a great one. It's all about Disney, man. What do you think?
I'm excited. Obviously, on my screen here we have Lorcana, and I know people are hyped for that. I know I'm super hyped for that. They're doing a lot of cool things, and they're definitely making their weight in the TCG community already, which is going to be very interesting to see how it pans out.
I mean, look, it's called the first chapter, right? And if anybody knows collectors in general, whether it be trading cards, Funko Pops, whatever, everyone has a soft spot for something about Disney, right? Whether it be Mickey Mouse, whether it be Snow White, Frozen, what have you, right? But I think they really saw this market as not fully tapped in 100%. I know they think that Pokemon's sleeping. I know they think everyone's comfortable. I know we have all these other TCGs coming up, but they are doing it right, in my opinion. And so when you're saying you're excited about it, my friend, I am all in. And I know that's a bold statement, dude, but everything looks great, and I know you probably got the screen up showing everybody the product and stuff like that.
Technical difficulties, so
it's all good.
We're good now. If it's done OBS, old reliable.
The first chapter is a great name. I think it's going to be a great start with that, and in my opinion, I do believe it's going to be the first chapter, some subsets within that, and then maybe a year and a half. I would say at the very latest 2-year stretch, then we'll get chapter 2 or the second chapter. That's just my opinion. Don't know if that's how it's going to be, but that's kind of like what I think they're aiming for. And man, can I just tell you, the pack art, the packs look great.
The bats look good too. I was actually thinking about it now that you bring that up. Who's to say that they're not doing sets, chapters, and blocks, books?
Ooh.
You never know.
I like this thinking. Okay, they may take that approach. That's cool. See, that I'm just doing it for a pure traditional mindset of how they release TCG product. You're going outside the box, which I love.
Right. So literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
So it says the first chapter coming to tabletop fall 2023, and it says as an Illuminaire, so I guess that's comparable to like your Planeswalker if you're playing Magic, right? Okay. As your Illuminaire, you'll wield 6 magical inks to summon glimmers of Disney characters, glimmers that can appear as familiar friends or in fantastically reimagined forms. Recruit glimmers to your team as you travel through the world of Lorcana. Okay, so your characters are glimmers. Interesting.
Okay.
And it
that's
says
cool.
The first chapter,
that's different.
Right, and it says Disney Lorcana, the first chapter releases September 2023.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it looks like
awesome.
And it looks like your 3 pack arts are going to be what's her name?
Elsa from Frozen?
Yeah, and then
Mickey. But it's a certain Mickey. It's a certain type of Mickey. Because if you see, there's a certain Mickey on the pack art, and then on the starter deck with Pocahontas. Or is that Pocahontas? No, that's not Pocahontas. Who is that?
Moana.
Yeah, Moana. Yeah, he's Sorcerer Mickey. So we're getting 2 Mickeys from what I'm seeing right now.
Right. And so there's Mickey and then Maleficent on the booster packs. And then the Illuminaire's Trove, which I believe is going to be comparable to like a Fat Patch.
Ooh, cool.
And obviously booster boxes, and then the 3 decks. Now I heard there's also a Hades deck coming up, but right now it looks like a Moana and Mickey deck, a Cruella de Vil, and I think Aladdin.
That is Aladdin, even though it looks nothing like him, but yes, that's Aladdin.
Right, which is cool because it says reimagined.
Yeah, that's
and
fine.
Then you have Cinderella and
Mustafa, baby.
Yeah.
Dude, Big Mustafa, love the giraffes in the background. I think that's really cool. And if you do scroll down, you will see there's a gift set. And the gift set is 2 oversized foil cards, which are the themes of the themed decks. And you're going to get a Hades, which is yellow inked, and you're going to get Mulan, which is a red ink. And I think that is super cool. You're going to basically be getting 3 starter decks, and then I guess this Hades and Mulan will work together, just like Cruella and Aladdin would, or something else. I don't really know. It says jump in with the gift set. The gift set includes 2 collectible oversized foil cards and 2 playable foil game cards in addition to game tokens and 4 boosters. The gift set for Disney Lorcana, the first chapter, will feature Mulan, Imperial Soldier, and Hades, King of Olympus.
So I don't think necessarily
cool.
They're going to work together. I mean, it's possible. We don't know what the card effects do yet, but I think it's just one of those things to just trying to introduce that other element where it's like how Magic has done gift sets or Pokemon does their $20 pin bots. So I think they're trying to make a product that's marketable like that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like
Okay, so
like,
then would we rule out then, like, if you didn't want to play Aladdin in the Cruella deck, you could switch it out for Mulan instead? Is that what you're kind of thinking?
I don't see why not just stuff to add to the meta, because then like with cards like this, if either of these are playable, it's gonna force the price up for this set because say Hades works really well in the Moana deck and then Mulan respectively in the Cruella, DeVille deck, and Aladdin, because as you can see the ink colors on the side. I don't see
Yeah.
I don't see why if they have a good effect that you wouldn't see the price of these jump up just based off of the playability. But hopefully they print a good amount so we don't run into the same issue like what we have with One Piece right now.
And it was touched by Wasi, man. He was talking about the Illumineer's Trove. The Trove is, I believe, going to have like 9 booster packs in it, but it's going to have 2 deck boxes.
So 1 storage box, 2 deck boxes, 8 booster pets, 15 game tokens, and 1 player's guide.
Gee, my knees. That's got to be at least a $50 like product right there. It's got to be.
I would think that they're going to do MSRP $39.99. Once again, I think they're trying to really pump out a good product that undercuts Wizards of the Coast. I think they kind of like, I don't think they had anticipated Wizards falling as far as they did, but I think whoever, Ravensburger / they're the developers, but Disney probably anticipated that, which is why the bid thing is, they're going to be offering product to LGSs before bid bot stores, and I think that's a bid,
So that's a big bonus, right? And we can all be happy for that. But what we need to touch base on and just be real about is I used to own a local soccer store. And this is kind of what I've heard from the local game stores. It's very similar. Lorcana may say, hey, guys, Ravensburg, hey, you guys can have first dibs for the first few weeks. But we're going to limit you to a certain amount that you get before the big box gets it. And then after big box gets it, you can reorder and have another purchase order drop whenever after that. And like, that is what I think usually happens with this. But again, this is new. Disney may not, Ravensburger may not handle it like that.
Well, you have to remember Ravensburger isn't the, they are the developer, but it's still like a Disney thing. Like, this is a licensed Disney thing, so there's bigger players at work than just the game developer.
Oh, 100%, but I think Ravensburger, it does have, since they are working on the actual game itself, they're going to know the best means about how to go about the TCG world and the community. And I know Disney will on some aspect be like, well, no, we're not going to do that because we're Disney. We want to do it this way. I totally get that. But yeah. I do think Ravensburger has a big hand to play in the way things are going down with Lorcana. And I think that's what's exciting so many fans. And man, I've been waiting for something like this to come along separate from Pokemon for a long time, man. So I'm super excited.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something to be excited about, and it's different. It's new.
It is different, man. It looks different. It feels different.
I've heard through the grapevine that, how do I put this? That, the mechanics are good and they're there, so, only time will tell. The thing that's really going to drive this game, one, is how much product can they put out, and then the collectability. This is obviously a good IP where they're bringing in a lot of other people who normally probably wouldn't be into TCGs. And I'm talking about even Pokemon,
Correct. And especially Disney like pop collectors, man. There's heavy pop collectors that once they see these cards and how great they are and everything else, they're going to be psyched. And they're going to maybe at least just want to collect one card to go with their pop, especially if it matches. But you're talking about product, and I know you mean like the product that they're going to have with the gift boxes and the troves and things like that. But dude, I'm already looking at the accessories. In their accessories, it says protect your collection from wear and tear with card sleeves, deck boxes, playmats, and card portfolios. Okay, so they have card sleeves. Each pack contains 65 matte finish card sleeves featuring Disney Lorcana Glimmer, the first characters featuring Captain Hook, Elsa, and Mickey Mouse, right? That's so dope. You're already, right off the bat, having 3 different themed card sleeves that the consumer can buy. You already have deck boxes, right? So each deck box can hold up to 80 sleeved cards, which is important. We want to make sure that they can hold sleeved cards, not just basic raw cards that can't be protected in the deck box banging around.
Right.
The first Disney Lorcana deck boxes will feature the same Captain Hook, Elsa, and Mickey Mouse, go figure. They may sell them in a bundle or, of course, separate, and you can match them. And then, dude, you have the playmats, dude. Each playmat featuring striking artwork of Disney characters. A fabric top prevents damage during gameplay and can also be used as a desk mat or a mouse pad, go figure, while the anti-slip bottom keeps the mat in place during use. The first Disney Lorcana playmats will feature Maleficent, Maui, and Mickey Mouse. And the portfolios, I think, are super awesome. I think there's two. It's the players can safeguard their collection of the portable portfolios, which 64 standard cards as well as 8 oversized cards. So that's unique in itself. It can hold 64 standard cards as well as 8 oversized cards in the same portfolio. The first Disney Lorcana portfolio will feature Stitch and the Queen.
And see, that's
so these are
cool
awesome.
Is you're not seeing what I love about this and how they're already killing it. You're not seeing repetitive stuff. Like where I feel Bandai lats is, for example, they released card sleeves for One Piece. The only official card sleeves are the same artwork you get on the front of each starter deck. This is original.
Yep.
You know, they're doing it right with original playmats from the Ditto, a fabric top.
I mean, I'm fine with the boxes matching the sleeves because that's kind of a go figure. I mean, I want to be able to just pull my card sleeves that match my deck box.
I'm talking about like how the portfolio and then the playmats are all different. You know
Absolutely.
What I mean?
Absolutely, dude. And I think that is, you touched on that perfectly, especially as a collector. And I'm going to want to collect both the Stitch and the Queen portfolios, and then I'm gonna want to get the Mickey Mouse. And I'm a huge Maleficent guy. I really like Maleficent. She's super awesome, great villain. So I'm gonna want the Maleficent playmat hands down. So it just gives a lot to collect, man. You got a gift box, you got a trove, you got booster packs, you got starter decks, you got everything that a collector will want and a player's gonna want right off the bat.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think they're doing it right, and now it's really just the waiting game. What's interesting is, though, it says first chapter releases September 2023, so I'm wondering if we're actually going to see these before September, you know, just the LGS thing, or if we're not going to see, like, shelves till October, you know what I mean? If it's like a mid-September release, LGS did it for 2 weeks, and then it goes to...
Yeah. I think this, in my opinion, is the first chapter releases September 2023, I think, on their website and on Big Box. That's just my opinion. And then Big Box will get it in like October. If they don't, if this is not the case, and Disney releases it online the same time that they do LGSs, I find that very weird because a lot of people will go straight to Disney, they'll sell out, and then you'll go to your local game store to try to get some. But this is going to be so highly coveted, man. This is going to be something everyone's going to be after. I think they're going to make enough of this product, and they're just not going to be able to. It's going to sell out everywhere. Everyone's going to be on this. I'm really hoping the playable community is on this as well, and I hope that tournaments come about, and it's not just about scalping and collecting. I hope it's really about both, which I think they're trying to make it like that. It's about, let's see what the community's like, because Disney does tend to have a younger audience.
Right, and I think that's how they really set themselves apart and say they don't want to be like Magic, is by not short printing. So here's the thing. Obviously, you want to create as a business, you have to create a supply and demand. But some of these companies, like One Piece, for example, I feel like make the demand more prevalent than the supply, and they've kind of weed themselves out. But from the tactic it seems they're taking, I don't see them... How do I say? I don't see them short printing because it doesn't benefit them if they're really trying to be like bona fide, like, hey, if they're already doing this thing like, hey, we're here to support LGSs, then I would think they would come out saying, hey, you want cards? We have cards. You don't have to worry about it. Like, maybe you don't see cards that are multiple hundreds of dollars out of the set, which I will say, and won't bill in advance, I see this product in general being stopped very hard. Especially in the beginning. I think sealed, yes, and individuals maybe at the beginning. But I think individuals, man. What I'm saying is timeline-wise. That first 2 weeks when LGSs are getting them and not Spidbot stores, yes, it's going to be stopped disgustingly hard. Because, think about it, you know, some LGSs may be good and, like, want to give people MSRP. or close to it. And there's some people who buy them, and it's talk about someone in the middle of nowhere that doesn't have a LGS, or their LGS sold out and they couldn't do it, and now you're paying 2-3 times MSRP for a bots because you don't want to wait a couple of weeks for the next restock, you know?
Okay, well, I'm in Texas, and I can tell you that I've talked to one of my local game stores, right? And they had just had a meeting about this product, and they had a huge staff meeting about it, and they didn't know if they were going to even go for it. And I told them I was all in, and I was go, you know what, this is probably the first product that I'm going to want to invest money into getting like a case. And they were like, really? I go, yeah, well, I mean, I'm about to have a kiddo, right? And I really want to open some product for my kiddo, and I know for a fact that my kiddo is going to love Disney. My wife loves Disney, I love Disney, all that good stuff. So having this to open for my kiddo is going to be huge, and this is something that I know that they are going to relate to, and I think that this is going to be a product I'm going to love as well. So I was like, I'm kind of all in on this, and this is from the very beginning. So of course I'm all in on this. And they were like, wow, okay, well, you're wanting to get a whole case, you said, like a whole just like booster box? I go, no. I want like a case of like either the troves or booster boxes or whatever. And they go, you know, we'll be lucky if we get an entire case just for our store. And I was just like, damn, man, that is so crazy, because that's what I'm talking about. The LGSs could get it a week and a half, 2 weeks, even a month early. But if they only get one case, then how long is that going to last?
Well, here's the thing that you have to remember, and I know obviously you ran the soccer store, so I'm sure there was very similar things, but you have to remember there's also intricacies with it, and that, like, just as Disney has this idea and Ravensburger of like, hey, we're going to get product LGSs, they also have to remember, like, it's a food pyramid, right? And it goes from them to distros, and from there, distros. I think people forget that a lot of times it's not even LGSs. I mean, there are stummy LGSs. Luckily, I have a phenomenal one. I know you have some good ones.
Yeah.
But you have to remember there's scummy distros too. So, like, you know, for example, like, I know there's some product that my shop has a harder time getting, and other shops that are on the same route, like if he goes to certain distros, aren't going to give him the time of day or give him anywhere close to like what he was originally allocated at street day based on like, hey, who's our favorite shop, who buys the most from, you know what I mean? Because you gotta think they're kind of just the distros just act as like the food pyramid to pass it down to all the LGSs. So they definitely have
your LGS has to give up something. Your LGS has to, sometimes some LGSs are in such a tight budget, like you're talking about right now, man, like, but some LGSs have to pick and choose. They're like, okay, cool, well then I guess since Magic's dying, we're going to invest what we normally invest into Magic, or half of it into Lorcana, or some of it's like, well, do I risk moving all of this money that I know I have Magic buyers, or I know I have Yu-Gi-Oh buyers, I know that, and so why would I risk now investing hardcore into this, and this is going to make it? Guys, this will make it. This is going to make it, unless we just have a side swipe and we have, like, out of left field, they do something so crazy, and like their packaging is cheap as hell, their packs are horrible, the cards are absolutely garbage, the quality controls, no, they're like, and I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be very well made, it's going to be done right, but the question is, how are they going to treat the LGSs overall, and then how is it going to be available for everyone? I do see here, bro, it says 8 and up, not 6 and up, which 2 years is a big difference. And I know a lot of 4, 5, 6, and 7-year-olds watch Disney. That tells me that this is a playable game. That means the mechanics are going to be for an 8 and up mindset. So I do think the mechanics are going to be there, bro.
True.
And hey, Ravensburger, this is the first time we're going to see this on a pack too. Very collectible, really good. And from what I've done my research on and what I've seen, Ravensburger does seem like they're a quality company. So
yeah, no, I've heard good things from them as far as like in the tabletop world and stuff.
Correct. I mean, and they make sure they say coming to tabletops, all that good stuff. I mean, but that brings us to our next subject, man, which is the Disney 100 Years of Magic Weiss Schwarz set, which is a different Disney set other than actually being from Disney themselves.
Yeah, I am kind of interested to see what they do with this as far as if I had to guess, right? I know you know that I'm a big Weiss guy. If I had to gander and guess how it's going to look right now as far as a set, I would imagine it'd be close to how Pixar was. How you have a lot of SSPs, SPs, stamped cards, you know, obviously not SIDs.
I think they're going to be stamped with the 100 Years of Wonder, 100-year stamp is what I think they're going to be stamped with.
Correct. I think something that's interesting to think about, though, that I haven't seen a lot of speculation about is what is going to be their equivalent to the Pixar Lotso, right?
I think it's going to be
different.
It's either going to be like I think it's going to be I think it's going to be the original Mickey, like the 50s Mickey or whatever Mickey it was, the black and white Mickey, and I think it's going to have the 100-year stamp. I also think you're going to get either just a Disney 100 Years of Wonder stamped just card itself with a nice shine in it and everything else, and that's like a big huge hit, or it's going to be like an original Disney logo, like from way back when, like the original Disney stamp or something like that. But I'm looking at the backs of them, dude. The backs are like this diamond, just shine anniversary, like very lush. It's awesome, dude.
It's the same pattern as what's on the box. I gotta be honest with you, as a Weiss guy, I don't see myself going for this, man.
Really, dude?
I swear.
Okay, but I haven't seen any of the artworks other than this Mickey promo, which doesn't look half bad. But I'm shocked.
So I'll tell you why I'm not going to go for it.
Okay.
As a Weiss collector, do I see it doing well? Yes. Look what happened to Pixar. I kicked myself. I don't. You know me. I don't really flip stuff. I just try and get good deals like anyone else. But I'm a collector. I don't like to overpay, but I will pay the price sometimes, unfortunately. But you know what? I try and get good deals, and in my heart, it says get as much of this as I can. Because if you look at what happened to Pixar, right? I mean, I remember when I could have gotten boxes for $60, and now...
I mean, dude, I'm looking at a PSA 10 Buzz Lightyear, and it's $604 on eBay right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I got the Weiss Schwarz Pixar Woody Pride foil. It's $530.
Right, and I did get
That's
a good
crazy.
amount of Pixar stuff. Like, I went more for the trial debts. You know me, I like hunting the trial debts. I like the sure bets.
I mean, I ripped about 6 packs. I ripped about 6 or 7 packs of the Pixar. I ended up pulling a stamp, which I absolutely love. It's got the Onward artwork. I love that set, man. If I could get it for a good price, I'd be buying it. But it's super expensive, and I get it.
Have tripled in price now. It's only
Correct.
a couple of months.
And you best believe this is not even going to take that long to triple in price. I mean, it's ridiculous how wanted this set is, and I do think they are doing it well. I just don't know how they're able to put the Disney logo on this.
Because
have
the
it be
licensing
licensed.
is different for Japan Vice English.
Correct, right? And I understand, but they only did it with the Pixar. It only said Pixar on the box. It did not say Disney.
I mean,
it only said Pixar. So that's why I'm wondering how are they able to now get Disney.
The relationship with Pixar and Disney is they're the same but different. You know what I mean?
No, and I get that. It's just something that I wonder. But I mean, dude, look at the backs. Just look at them. They have Disney characters in between this awesome shining diamond-like backing texture. There's actually like whitened out characters within the backing cards, like Mickey, Sleeping Beauty, like Woody, all of these characters, Tinkerbell. It's gorgeous, man, and I love the backing cards of Pixar already because they're so colorful. These don't have a color on it, but I don't think it needs it, and I think it looks stunning. I mean, if I see it in my local game store, there's a local game store I have here that does have a good selection of Weiss Schwarz, especially the specialty sets here, but they only get like 2-3 boxes, dude. They don't get pallets or cases. They only get a few, so I can only really get a few packs, or if I want to pay $120, $130 a box, then that's what this new set's already going for. Right. So
and it's already it's already looking like it's out of stock, like everywhere.
Oh yeah, dude! And if you want the Pixar, it's $200 a box, and so it's something that's going to be very collectible. But I mean, if I'm with you, man. If you want Disney product and you want Disney trading cards, I would save the coin for Lorcana.
Yep, and I'll say, and that's exactly why I was going to say. I know you were surprised, but here's my thing. One, I don't really love Weiss for like the Pixar sets and stuff. Like, it's cool, it's novel.
You like it anime. You like the anime sets.
I chased it a little bit for being like dumb and just like, oh yeah, I'll, do whatever.
It's our childhood, man. It's Woody and Buzz. Like,
yeah, on, so I
like
did.
Lotso.
I got some of the Toy Story displays. Luckily pulled the Buzz. Like, it's definitely a cool card, but you know what I mean. I kind of had to get more grounded and normally I don't really care for a lot of his stuff, but like Alex Ketchum, he's a big Weiss guy, and
Yep.
he kind of like actually surprised me. I can't believe I'm saying this, trying to help me stay grounded as far as like thinking about it. Just like he brought up the fact how he was like, well, I got into Weiss for anime, not so much for like this, and then I'm thinking like, he's not wrong. I mean, that's 100% why I got into Weiss, and I enjoyed Weiss because it's like with Pokemon and anything else, you feel like the net set's coming out, I gotta get it. It's always a chase, but with Weiss, like, it's honestly tough when you see the cards because they're so beautiful, but at the same time, it's easy to turn your back to a set. You know what I mean? There's multiple sets.
Almost too many that come out so quickly.
Well, right, but it's easy to like turn your head. Like, for example, like, the last bid set that I once again, I guess this is a bad example, but like the Azure Lane set for Weiss, I didn't care to get into it, and then it was kind of hard to resist as the cards looked so good. But like now, I've been chasing the Overlord reprint a little bit because that was kind of before my time in Weiss, because I'm still fairly new, only about a year.
But that's why they do this. That's why they released that set again, and that's why they put it as a silver sig, because people like you who are now have so much value and so much invested in Weiss wanted that set. Too expensive. Let's re-release it a little different to customers just like you, dude.
Right. Well, and that's the cool thing. Like, for example, like like I find myself like, even with sets that I feel like I should be hyped about, I'm like not. Like, for example, the Avatar the Airbender set. I know people can trash me. I'm not that excited for it because I know it's gonna be. It's gonna be stamped cards. I don't think they're getting SIDs on them. I think they're gonna be stamped. Who knows? Maybe when I see them, I'll change my mind. But unpopular opinion, I wasn't that big of a fan of Avatar the Last Airbender. Was it good and cool? Yes. Did I love it? No. So much I pretend to love it now. But
no, exactly. I liked it, but I didn't love it.
Now they have like Spy at Family and Chainsaw Man coming out, and I'm very hyped for both of them. Chainsaw Man more than anything. Like, Chainsaw Man to me, and anyone listening that is a big Weiss collector, take my advice. Anything Chainsaw Man, Weiss, you want to get now, because if you don't predict a reprint of that set a couple years down the road, you're high, because I don't see how it doesn't continue to gain popularity. I mean, it's so good, and it's original, and it's not what you expect it to be, and people are really excited about that. But I'm getting off topic. The thing I wanted to talk about was this platinum card, man, ridiculous. So I know you can't really see it on my screen, but for anyone who doesn't know, I mean, Wasi talked about it a little bit, but I wanted to kind of go into more of an opinionated segment about this card. And Brandon, if you want to pull it up on yours, it's you can just type in Weiss Schwarz Disney 100 Years and go to Google Images.
Yep.
So I don't know if you see this card. It's like a blue Mickey, but it's made out of platinum, and the way they're doing it is via a lottery system. But let's talk about the MSRP. I believe it's around $8,000.
Oh my goodness!
And of course, it's limited. I think they're only making 100 of them.
Yes, it says 100. That's crazy. Because I mean, look, that goes right into Disney 100 Years of Wonder. There's 100 years made.
Yeah, so you're talking about its MSRP at $8,000.
100 of them made, dude. That's awesome. I mean, that's awesome, but I mean, that's ridiculous.
And it's made out of platinum. So here's the issue I have with it. I get it. Disney wants to make a profit, turn a big profit.
But are they? But are they making a profit, or is Weiss Schwarz making a profit with this?
Both. Because they have
you think Disney's going to make a profit off this card? Or do you think they've already made their money off of this deal, and then whatever Weiss Schwarz decides to make off of this promo is what they make off this promo?
I don't know, because I haven't seen that side of it before.
I mean, I would be very shocked if they took royalties off this card, or they may take royalties off the entire set, including this card. You may be correct, but I still think it's ridiculous that Weiss Schwarz is charging that much, dude. That's ridiculous. Now, you said it's a platinum card, right?
Yeah, but here's the funny thing. So, it's only about an ounce of platinum. An ounce of platinum, and this is what got me mad. An ounce of platinum is $1,000. And that card is 1 ounce of platinum. So, you need to 8 times the product. And then what have we learned about metal cards in the past? Like, you know what I mean? You should buy one of these cards for $8,000 and it could be very imperfect.
Well, yeah, there's going to be scratches and dings. It could be very bad.
Right.
Which, hopefully with all this texture and color, you can't see that.
Well, with 100 of them, I'm sure. I mean, don't get me wrong.
They're going to print more than 100. They're just going to only put 100 in packs, in my opinion. The best quality control.
No, it's not. It's not.
Not even a pack. So yeah, they could print. They could print 10,000 of these. Pick out the best 100, burn the rest, or get rid of the rest, and then bam, you're good to go, dude.
Yeah, I mean, either way, all I'm saying is I don't feel like they need to point that out. I mean, even like $3,000 would have been considerably more reasonable, and you're tripling your profit. But I did it. They're trying to run a big profit margin. But here's the other side of it. At a price point like 8,000. Where's the up from there? I'm wondering, where is your up from there? Where do you?
This is it. No, this is the ceiling. Everything else is the booster box. This is your hey, we will make $80,000, whatever, 800 grand, whatever they're going to make off 100 of these times $8,000 a piece. I mean, that's what they're wanting. They know they're safe now because they're going to sell all of these. And they're going to make an extremely large amount of money that's going to absolutely pay for the entire print run of the booster boxes. It's their way of not losing money on this, man. In my opinion. This is just my opinion.
Regardless, though, just here's the thing.
Well, they are absolutely, dude. But again, now you have Lorcana getting announced. In my opinion, this is only in Japanese. It's never going to be released in English. If I'm not a Japanese collector, which I do love Japanese cards, don't get me wrong, I collect them. But if I'm not, I'm going to spend my money elsewhere, especially Lorcana. And then we need to make sure we're not hitting a bust with this gorgeous product that should sell itself. We're going to make this promo and have an outrageous amount, which they could have sold this for $800 a promo and still made an insane amount of money.
For which one? This Mickey?
For the Mickey. Yeah.
Well, not if it's made out of platinum. I mean,
but it can be worth $1,000 in platinum, right? But then they're selling it for $800 a promo, and then be like, "Hey, look, like we're basically, it's going to be a deal for you guys." And you know what I mean? Like, we know we're going to make a ton of money on the set. We know we're going to make a ton of money on this. Like, even just making it $1,000, you know what I mean? But I know they need to make their money back in profit. And there's a luscious box that goes with it, and blah blah blah, right? But $8,000, dude, is disgusting.
Right, that's all I'm trying to say. That just seems very greedy. Look at this, dude, out of stock. So, $12.40 for a case, sold out. That's insane.
Use, dude. Okay, and then you were talking earlier. Then that brings us kind of to the other, not competitor for Lorcana, because this is Disney as well. But I mean, we got Pokemon, man, Scarlet and Violet coming out, right? And so you got that coming out right before this, and you may even have one more set of Scarlet and Violet hit the market before Lorcana comes out. What do you think this is going to do to Pokemon, man?
I will tell you this. I think Pokemon will be fine.
Good. I mean, I love Pokemon, so I don't want it to go anywhere. I mean, you got Scarlet and Violet. This series drops March 31st, right?
I think the only one that's in trouble is
Magic.
Wizards, because Pokemon put it out that they were increasing prices, but they also incentivized the product.
They know that they're in trouble. That's why they're moving to... No, dude, Dungeons and Dragons. That's all. That's your answer right there. They've moved on from Magic, bro. They moved on from Wizards of the Coast. Wizards is going to now go to more tabletop things like Dungeons and Dragons. They've already talked about monetizing Dungeons and Dragons more. That's why they're done with Magic, man. And if they're going to keep printing it because they know that it'll still make them a little money or whatever the case may be, great. But I think Wizards in Hasbro themselves are done with Magic, especially with Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh coming in with their anniversary, and now Lorcana, man, plus Weiss is on and up. There's no comp, dude. There's no competition.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, just I feel bad for all the people that invested a ton of money in Magic, but I don't see them lasting the next decade, personally.
I mean, decade, no, but I do think, like I said, they're going to continue to pump out cards, which is sad itself because it's going to continue to have people invest in that product. Which, if you still like to play it and the mechanics grow and they still flourish, fine, great. Be more of like a Flesh and Blood then. Print more, let the player base grow, and then still hold and make money off of player base. But, I mean, yeah, that will be the first one to go. Pokemon, I do think, will be fine. This new set is going to introduce a whole bunch of new stuff. It's got over 190 cards. It's standard and legal.
Pokemon would cut down on the size of the sets.
Dude, right? Make it like a 120, 130. I think it needs to be 100 cards, maybe 110, and you can make 20 or 30 gallery cards or whatever the hell you want to do after that. But there's such a large amount. I do not collect commons, reverse hollows, unless they're the Pokeball ones, or regular holos anymore, man. Unless it's of a Pokemon that I enjoy, like Pikachu or Slowbro or
Right.
something like that.
Right.
But dude, getting a master set of Pokemon, dude, is ridiculous.
If you're talking about like pulling it, yeah, that is.
Yeah, oh, 100%. No, even investing, even trying to buy individual cards for Pokemon to complete a master set. If I'm trying to individually even buy cards for Crown Zenith to complete a gallery and regular full set, I'm talking from the energies to the trainers to the commons to the hyper rares to everything, right? That is going to cost me so much money, and it's going to be so many cards to fill a binder or to fill a collection. Then you're talking about
Right.
those of you who want to grade it and then spend all of the money grading the good cards. Dude, that is a severe investment, my
Right.
friend.
Well, think about it. Like, and that's what's needed to a perfect way to explain it. And you play WoW with me, so World of Warcraft for anyone who doesn't know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. But think about WoW. There's so much to do in it, and I think you'll really enjoy this analogy. There's so much to do in WoW that I have to find a niche thing that you like to doing, like whether you like raiding dungeons.
Yep.
You're a
Yep.
transmod hunter. You're a mount hunter. We've gotten to a point in Pokemon where the sets are so big, it's the same thing. And prime example, I know you love collecting V-Stars. That's what you've been doing. You've been collecting every V-Star. You have just about every V-Star. Whereas I've been doing the not pocket-friendly route, which is getting every alt art. Just like I almost have all of them, except for a few. And luckily they're not the more expensive ones.
But see, the Altar V-Stars are super expensive, and that's where me as a regular V-Star collector, other than getting the promos, like the Charizard
Well,
one or
Crown
something, is
Zenith
like,
didn't do you
damn.
favors initially.
I know, dude. I know, but hey, it's still good. It gives me something to chase, and then I'll finish that up on this set, and that'll be the last on my checklist, and I will move on to Scarlet and Violet. But I mean, dude. I'm just going to read them this real quick. It says, set out for a journey in the Paldea region, meet first partners Brigatito, Fuecoco, and Quaxley, and explore the power of the legendary Pokemon, Coryodon and Miraidon, and the Pokemon EX, right? Other Pokemon EX evolve their way into the battle, including Arcanine, Gyarados, with a dazzling new look. So that already tells me Gyarados, Arcanine playing heavily into this first base set, which is kind of cool, but of course Gyarados is a fan favorite. Even more Pokemon appear as illustration rare cards with amazing artwork. Discover them all in the Pokemon TCG Scarlet and Violet. So you have illustration rare cards now. So their illustration rare cards, in my opinion, for here are going to be now their alt art, right? It says dozens of Pokemon and trainer cards with special illustrations. You also have the introduction of Terra Pokemon EX with cool crystalline appearances. You have more than 30 trainer cards, which means that it appears that they're going to go really heavily in the trainer and the full art trainer cards and things like that. And then 10 brand new Pokemon EX cards that it says a take on a returning game mechanic. So, dude, a lot to love with that set, and it's going to come out right before Lorcana, a few months before. And I am all down for this because, again, it's starting from scratch again. You've got a new base set. And so for those of you looking at what to invest here in the new 2023, we went over Lorcana, and Pokemon is like, hey, these are two things that you're going to get to kind of invest in or collect in or play from the base, from the get-go. And I don't think any of these are going to be going anywhere. I do think Pokemon and Lorcana are going to be the top dogs in the trading card community here in 2023, especially towards the end. I think you're going to see Lorcana and Pokemon played everywhere, collected everywhere. You're going to see massive amount of pack rips. You're going to see YouTube videos, all of that on Lorcana and on Scarlet and Violet.
I definitely agree, and I think we'll just keep tabs and our eyes out looking for it, and keep talking about that in the near future. But it's been a little bit of a long episode, and we appreciate everyone that's been listening. I think there's a lot of exciting stuff coming out this year, and what I will say is I think this is really a big year that collectors need to look inside and say, hey, what do I really, not what do I want to invest in, what it is like the future, but think about like what do you actually like, like for me, I've already said I've had to put Disney, Weiss Schwarz to the side because I'm excited about Lorcana, but I'm also excited about One Piece, the future sets. And honestly, I'm very excited for Scarlet and Violet. My biggest prediction for it is I think this will be the first time in a long time where a base set of Pokemon is heavily chased.
Correct.
And if you disagree with me,
I agree
go
with
look
you.
back at the Sword and Shield set. I'm sorry, I was saying for the crowd.
No, I don't believe you. No, yeah, no, I believe you 100%. And yeah, for those of you that don't believe us, you're right.
You haven't seen this in a long time. And here's the other thing that I'll say is, I think Pokemon realized that us as a community were ready for Vs to be gone. We were kind of just like, what's a V? You know what I mean? And maybe someone's like, you're dumb for saying that, but like, think about it. You know, I feel bad I went from an outro to a rant, but what I was trying to say is, you know, Vs, a lot of people are like, well, I know, like, you know, what VMAX is, but what's a V? You're telling me there's a median? Like, that's not in the name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I got it. They had to have some ramping evolution type, you know, to the TCG, so good on them. But EXs,
they're glad to be gone with it, man.
People are happy to have them back. And another prediction that I know a lot of people talked about, but it's kind of common sense if you followed Pokemon, is you're going to see old EX cards shoot through the roof, which I'm pretty excited about, because I hope everyone forgets about Gold Stars, so then I can finish collecting those. Because in the meantime, I can't fathom getting more of them at this point. But
getting at the price, yeah, I understand.
Oh yeah, well they're starting to go up. EXs, Gold Stars and Crystal Pokemon are having a huge jump back. But I'm sorry, I don't want to ruin this outro. I just appreciate talking with you, Brandon, and you're the man. Check out Pod County on Instagram. Always posting good stuff. And we'll definitely we have some exciting news. We're about to start being a lot more consistent. We're going to try and have new podcast or Cardcasts up every Wednesday. So be on the lookout for that. So obviously things happen in life. You know, everyone's busy, but that's our goal for the new year, is to try and get a new one each Wednesday. So until next time, I'm the Trading Hard Bro.
And I'm Pocket Bounty, guys. We'll talk to you in the next one.
All right. Y'all take care. Have a good night.
Later, guys.